What's up everyone, Alex here, and this is the upcoming games video for February 2024. In case you're new here, this is a monthly video series talking about the games that you might want to pay attention to and put on your watch list, with some games being highlighted. And in February, in addition to Valentine's Day, there are 3 massive JRPGs that definitely want your attention and your money. And I can't even think about talking about them right now. I know that I have to highlight them, but it's just thinking about how we have 2 really big ones coming at the beginning of the month and 1 major one coming out at the end of the month. It's just so overwhelming. I'm like, I need to find time to play these games and finish them so I can review them for y'all. And don't worry, I'm not stressed. I can probably do them. This is my full-time job after all. But that being said, if you find this video helpful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, and posting your comments and letting me know which games you want to pick up for this month. I guess I need to highlight those 3 JRPGs I was hinting at, right? So let's get started. Granblue Fantasy Relink, which is coming out February 1st on PlayStation platforms and PC, is one of the biggest RPGs to come out this year. Now, a lot of people compared the gameplay loop to something like Monster Hunter World or Rise, and I can't really blame them because the quest mode is multiplayer, allows for up to 4 players, and it has this kind of lobby system where you basically jump into a quest with people, finish the quest, and then you come back out. And it's Monster Hunter in that sense, but if you played the actual demo, you'll realize that it's actually more responsive and closer to like a character action game than say something like Monster Hunter, where a lot of the animations are deliberate with delays that prevent you from just mashing the buttons. In Granblue Fantasy Relink, you absolutely can mash your buttons. But of course, there's a bit of strategy. There are a lot of bosses that have different gimmicks, and the fun of the game is similar to trying to figure out a boss in a really hard raid in an MMO. And I think that's what Granblue Fantasy Relink is trying to capture with this Monster Hunter-esque kind of loot grind, if you will. Now, of course, instead of weapons, you have characters, so you have to find the character that you really want to play. But it also incentivizes you to go back and try out different characters because there are a ton of different playstyles, which is absolutely fantastic. This is one of my most anticipated JRPGs of 2024, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Alright, a lot of you really yelled at me for not including Persona 3 Reload in my top 10 most anticipated games of 2024. And to be fair, when it comes out on February 2nd, it is literally coming out the day after Granblue Fantasy Relink, and it's coming out on PlayStation and Xbox platforms and PC. Yes, the story is practically the same as the original PlayStation 2 release, but let's be honest here. Does anybody feel like there's something weird with this game? Like it's giving you like Final Fantasy VII Remake vibes, that they may change some things in it? I kinda am, because when they started promoting this game, they were like, oh no, it's gonna be really faithful to Persona 3. And then, slowly but surely, the marketing started hinting at like new features and things that were added into it, like the baton pass from Persona 5. And that's where I was kinda like, wait a minute, how faithful is it really gonna be? And I think those are the kind of questions that we're going to be asking once we jump into this game and to try to figure out like what this game really is all about. And as somebody who played Persona 3 after Persona 4, I think it's going to be really cool for me to kind of go back to it with a fresh new pair of eyes, with the expectation that it's going to be more modernized. And I've already said this before, but I do think that Persona 3 Reload is the precursor to an actual Persona 6, because the Persona team doesn't have Katsura Hashino anymore to direct them, and therefore the new leadership is trying to retrain everybody to get used to a new kind of workflow, because he had moved on to make Metaphor Phantasia, which is going to be awesome, but that's not coming out until fall. Oh boy, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So you saw the video where I basically talk about my experience with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which basically meant like I posed in front of the Chocobo Ranch and also posed with the Buster Sword and talked to Britt Baron and Yoshinori Kitase and Naoki Hamaguchi. That was the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth experience. But the real game is coming out on February 29th on PS5 only. Now, I don't really know much about the game, right? Like, sure, I experienced it, but that doesn't really mean like I played the game or anything. I don't know anything about it. In fact, I'm actually gonna go into it quite blind, actually. This is one of those games that I'd much prefer going in not knowing anything, and maybe there's something to be said about that, because there's a lot of people who have been following all of the news surrounding this game. And so I think, while that's good in and of itself, sometimes marketing to me kind of sets the wrong expectation. That being said, I am replaying through Final Fantasy VII Remake, and having finished it again fairly recently, I'm really just excited to continue that story into Rebirth. And maybe I'll read a little bit about it and stuff, so that way I'm a little bit more educated so we can talk about it together once I do make a review of it eventually, whenever that's gonna be. But I just want to set that expectation that I am going into this blind, and I'm just really excited to play with the full party, practically. That's really exciting to think about. And here are the rest of the games coming out in February. Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash, a 2v2 fighting game based on the popular anime, is coming out on February 2nd on all modern platforms. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a co-op action game from the creators of the Arkham series, and is coming out on February 2nd on PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Foamstars, a team-based shooter that's got you spraying foam all over at high speeds, is coming out on February 6th on PlayStation platforms. Touhou Danmaku Kagura Phantasia Lost is a rhythm game featuring tracks from various Touhou project titles, with an entirely new storyline, is coming out on February 8th on PC. The early access for the Krabby fighting game Fight Crab 2 is coming February 13th on PC. News Tower, a simulation game where you manage an ambitious newspaper publisher similar to Sim Tower, will be in early access starting February 13th on PC. Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered, which greatly enhances the look of the aforementioned games, is coming out on February 14th on all modern platforms. Spirit Hunter Deathmark 2, a visual novel, is coming out on February 15th on PS5, Switch, and PC. Undercover, a co-op light gun shooter heavily inspired by Time Crisis, is coming out on February 15th on Meta Quest devices. Skull and Bones, the long-awaited swashbuckling action-adventure game set in the high seas, is coming out on February 16th on PS5, Series X and S, and PC. Bandle Tale, a League of Legends story, is the last Riot Forge game to be released, and features action RPG gameplay mixed with farming and crafting, and is coming out on February 21st on Switch and PC. Terminator Dark Fate Defiance is an RTS game set in the world of Terminator Dark Fate, is coming out on February 21st on PC. Shiren the Wanderer, the mystery dungeon of Serpentcoil Island, is the latest game in the long-running roguelike series, and is coming out on February 27th on the Nintendo Switch. The remake of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which I consider one of the best co-op games in gaming history, is coming out on February 27th on PS5, Series X and S, and PC. A remake of Star Wars Dark Forces is coming out on February 28th on all modern platforms. And that, my friends, are the games of February 2024. Now, if there are any games that I missed that you actually know are coming out that's really awesome, please share them in the comments below. And if I helped you actually make a list of games you want to pick up this month, post them in the comments below so that we can all talk about it. And of course, if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.